receipts. They're a concept unique to the pro wrestling industry. In no other profession is it acceptable to physically attack someone just for their incompetence, but in wrestling, punching someone if they mess up isn't just acceptable, it's very much encouraged. 9 times out of 10, stiff shots are accidental. But some wrestlers have a track record of being unsafe or unprofessional in the ring. And in this video, we'll be looking at times wrestlers have sent messages to their opponents with their fists. Here are more famous wrestling receipts, starting with Chris Jericho tells Tommy he's dreaming.
Jericho and Christian.
In the 2003 Royal Rumble, Tommy Dreamer showed up with a garbage can full of hardcore goodies. One of the weapons was a kendo stick, which Dreamer used to attack various superstars. Chris Jericho accidentally took a kendo shot right to the face, and it busted him open. Jericho looked like he had a third eye. Furious about this, Jericho gave a prone Dreamer one of the hardest kendo shots in the history of wrestling before tossing him out of the ring. Diesel gives Virgil some hellbows.
Well, the key word there, McMahon, is alternate.
During the 1994 Royal Rumble match, Virgil entered and was meant to get a little bit of offense on Diesel before being eliminated. He hit the real-life Kevin Nash with some stiff shots to the face, and Nash snapped and gave Virgil some of the stiffest elbows you'll ever see. Seriously, these things look like they're straight out of a UFC knockout. Diesel then grabs Virgil and tosses him forcefully over the top rope. Arn Anderson smashes Kevin Nash.
Oh my goodness!
I know, it's not WWE, but it's too good to ignore. On an episode of Nitro in 1997, Nash dressed up as Arn Anderson to mock him, but it hit a little close to home with Nash making fun of Arn's real-life drinking problems. What's worse, Anderson was forced to retire from wrestling and never could get his revenge in storyline or in real life. Well, that is until January 2000 when Nash was challenging Bret Hart for the WCW World title. Arn was scheduled to do a run-in and hit Nash with a steel pipe, and oh boy did he ever. Just listen to this thud.
Oh my goodness!
2 Antonios and 1 ain't so great. Technically, this also isn't the WWE, but considering Antonio Inoki is in the WWE Hall of Fame and is one of the best receipts ever caught on camera, we're gonna use it. In 1977, Inoki faced off against the great Antonio, who decided he was going to no-sell Inoki's offense. This, of course, angered Inoki, but it wasn't until the not-so-great Antonio unleashed some clubbing blows to the back of Inoki's neck that he snapped. From there, one of the most vicious beatings in pro wrestling history took place. Needless to say, no one messed with Antonio Inoki after this. The Undertaker crushes HBK.
Michaels is headed out!
In 1997, The Undertaker had his best-to-date run with the world title ended after HBK cracked him with a chair in a match against Bret Hart. Losing the title was storyline, but HBK accidentally catching Taker with the edge of the chair rather than the soft middle part was not. He knew a receipt was due to him and voluntarily took a brutal chair shot from The Undertaker in their Hell in a Cell match later that year. The Undertaker again. On an episode of Raw leading up to WrestleMania 32, Shane McMahon and The Undertaker had a little brawl. During it, Shane hit The Undertaker with a monitor a little too hard and busted open the dead man. Shane apologized backstage, with The Undertaker apparently telling him that his receipt was incoming. Fast forward to their Hell in a Cell match. In Shane's words, The Undertaker bear-pawed him with a monitor while they were on the outside. Rikishi rocks a jobber.
Do much better. Haku missed Quiche and hit the savant kick on Russ.
Rikishi has always come across as a pretty cool guy in real life. What may shock you is to find out that he was competing in WWE's developmental territory, HWA, back in 2001, and he completely lost it on jobber Russ McCullough. Russ held Rikishi as Haku came in to deliver a kick to Rikishi. The big man was supposed to move one way, but accidentally moved another and completely ate the kick from Haku. Rikishi blamed Russ for this and unleashed a barrage of chair shots that sent McCullough running to the back. He was never heard from again. Ahmed Johnson drives his head through Farouk.
Hey!
When Farouk debuted, he ran in and kicked Ahmed Johnson so hard he injured his kidney and forced Ahmed onto the shelf for a month. Ahmed said that he felt like the kick was a shotgun blast and made a mental note to get his revenge at a later date. Several months later, Ahmed delivered a spinebuster to Farouk that doesn't look so bad to the untrained eye, but Ahmed said that he purposefully drove his head into Farouk's ribs and broke a few of them. Shawn Michaels curb stomps Vader for real. Seth Rollins has a really cool finisher called the curb stomp. It's so cool that when WWE tried to change it for the pedigree for a few years, fans revolted until it was brought back. But where did he learn this move from? It could have been as a young fan watching SummerSlam 1996, where Vader was berating Vader and interrupting the entire match for his fit. Nia Jax and Charlotte Flair get after it.
Flair does not have an answer for Nia. Nia's gonna maul the queen.
On an episode of Raw in 2021, Charlotte Flair and Nia Jax were facing off in a one-on-one match. There was a miscommunication, and previously building bad blood boiled over as Charlotte started hitting Jax for real. A lot of it took place during the commercial break, but a lot was still caught on camera. Nia Jax eventually had enough and decided to smack Charlotte with a decent 1-2 combination. The two eventually got back on track and finished the match, but this was as close to a real fight on Raw we've seen in a long time. Umaga turns Steve-O into a jackass. The Jackass crew were brought into Raw in 2006 to promote their upcoming movie. Umaga was meant to come to the ring and destroy Steve-O and Chris Pontius, but within the scripted world of pro wrestling. Don't get me wrong, all of Umaga's moves look painful and likely are. Steve-O wanted to be the Joker he always is and chose to laugh after receiving Umaga's brutal offense. This angered the Samoan Bulldozer, and he absolutely mauled the two of them. Matt Hardy makes the biggest mistake of his life. Paul Heyman and The Big Show were in the ring trashing Brock Lesnar when Brock appeared on the entrance ramp and started making his way to the ring. Matt Hardy then ran out and cracked Brock with a chair shot, accidentally hitting him in the back of the head with the edge of the chair. Brock was cut wide open, but refused medical attention, refused to put on his wrestling gear, and absolutely mauled the Sensei of Mattitude in their one-on-one match later on. Even poor Mattitude follower Shannon Moore wasn't safe and ate a hellacious F5 from the Beast. Receipts come in all shapes and fists.
Watch this.
Sometimes someone else gets to come in and do your receipt for you. This was the case in the 2019 Hall of Fame when the legendary Bret Hart was giving his speech in the ring. A deranged fan ran into the ring and tackled the elderly Hart. Not his smartest move, as a multitude of security, other superstars, and UFC fighter Travis Brown all jumped the guy and dragged him out of the ring. Dash Wilder of the Revival saw his opportunity and delivered a stiff hook to the deranged fan, dropping him to the floor. Don't mess with the excellence of execution. That concludes our list of vicious WWE receipts. Which ones did we miss? Let us know in the comments below.